Hi, I'm Valerie Engelhart, and in this video I am going to be painting a loose row of pears using the Art of Soil watercolor paints. Now I chose pears because I really wanted to paint today, but I was feeling just so blah and couldn't decide on anything, and so out of nowhere I went, pears. I think it's because I like the shape. They're that, well, pear shape. I even call my cat pear-shaped. She's a pear-shaped plumpkin. So, pears, great. And since that inspiration hit me, I just grabbed whatever was on my desk. I keep some random palettes on my desk, so the Art of Soil, perfect, haven't used those in a while. Grab them. This brush, a size 8 Da Vinci Cosmo Top Spin round brush. Haven't used that in a while. I like how it feels in my hand. Grab that. The paper, it's just, I'm painting on the back of a piece of paper that on the other side I was practicing brush marks. I can't even tell what brush I was using. It looks like I was probably using a dagger brush from the look of it. But I usually keep just scrap pieces of paper on my desk to test out brushes or paints in case I need to refamiliarize myself with something. And so this painting was purely a case of, I need to paint something right now, grab, and go. And that is not usually how I start a painting. Usually I give things thought, I get a reference image, I'll isolate values, I'll really consider how I want things to flow, my lost and found edges, my color story, what am I trying to say? And there are some times where I just need to paint some pears. Today is the day where we just paint some pears. And it's fantastic because I'm still getting some brush miles in, and it's on trend for fall in that it is something that you have at fall time. And I'm playing with paints I don't normally play with. These ones are thicker, a little more opaque. If I run my hand along them, I can definitely, I don't really like the feeling. I have a texture issue. But they are definitely nice and earthy. Again, perfect for fall. And I didn't want this to be too realistic. I like how pears are sometimes like green, but they have like yellow splotches or red splotches. And so I thought these earthy colors would work really well for that. And when I started this video, I forgot to explain that I wanted my pears to be of relatively equal size and placement. Because if I just started on one end and continued all the way down, I was afraid that I would run off the page. So I just used clean water to paint just those little sides of the pear in water where I was going to have them join. And then that way I could just see where I wanted them to go without having to use pencil marks or commit with paint. And then if I had placed those watermarks wrong, I would have just dried it with a paper towel. But I got it right my first time, so I just continued. And a nice thing about a painting like this is I could have used a watercolor card, like Strathmore actually makes greeting cards with watercolor paper that you can paint on. And that was originally what I was going to do for a video, and I might still do it. If you want me to paint a greeting card for the season, let me know in the comments below. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, that actually could have worked really well for a, like, sending out a Thanksgiving card or something. This is really pretty. And I love watercolor because the colors will merge and fuse together. It's just important to not go in and mess with it too much, especially because red and green are complementary colors. So you might have seen as things go, where those areas meet, they get kind of brown and muddy. I'm fine with a little bit of that because having some desaturated areas makes the more colorful areas pop more. And it's good to know if you ever need to tone down a color, don't use black, use the opposite color on the color wheel. So blue and orange, purple and yellow, green and red, or green and pink. I did accidentally touch the bottom of my middle pear, and so I just went in and dropped a little more of that greenish blue color. And I'm dropping in some stronger red, purely on vibes. But this would be another fun thing maybe to do with apples, since apples come in a variety of colors. That might be a fun one to do. Do you want me to do like a row of very colorful apples? Basically, I want to know, what do you guys want to see? So right now what I'm doing is I've got a nice clean damp brush and I am lifting the paint because I want to create some shine on these pears. I'm going to go ahead and do a little spoiler alert since I do have the finished painting right next to me. The middle one's a little wonky with its shine, but I did get that one on the right, I feel like, pretty good. And so this is where it's good to know the properties of your paints. I know these Art of Soil paints are thicker, a little more opaque, but that they lift very easily. And so just a damp brush, lift the paint, dab it off on my paper towel, lift more paint, and keep in the motion of the pear. That pear is round, so curved brush strokes. And also pay attention to where the light is. So you'll want to put the shine, if you have the light coming from the left, have that shine on the left. And here's my finished painting. So if you liked this video, press that like button so I know to make more like this. And if you want to see more, subscribe and ring that little bell because I make videos every Monday and Thursday. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye!